Dr. Eli Karam joins me. He's president of the Kentucky Marriage Therapy. Tell him what's the name of the organization?
Kentucky Association for Marriage and Family
Therapists. You know what? I had that written on a piece of paper. It's right over there. And it fell out of my briefcase the other day. Your name was sitting on the floor of my car for 2 days. I thought, I got to get that for the next time Eli comes in.
That's right. You've had that for a long time.
I can never remember the name of your organization, but I know you're the president.
That's right.
It's good to see you again, brother.
It's good to see you, Terry. Face-to-face live, not recorded.
Am I being cranky about that? It drives me crazy when somebody ambushes you and they change the rules.
Yeah, you want to know what you're getting into. A fair game, and if you don't have a feel for the person, I always prefer face-to-face interaction. So many people now are communicating via text or on the phone, and you can't judge tone, you can't see body language. There's a lot to be said. The face-to-face encounter is still the way to go.
Yeah, let's stick with texting for a minute or two because clearly more and more people choose that form of communication. We're missing out on a whole lot of elements, though, in relationships if people text. I mean, there are some women who will tell me guys have broken up with them via text. And some guys who've said women have texted them and said, no thanks.
Hey, texting is great when you got something short to convey, 140 characters or less, in the sense that you want to tell your partner to pick up something on the way home. Great. You want to give someone you care about a supportive message. Way to go. Looking forward to seeing you tonight. But when it should be a face-to-face conversation, do not do it in text. These people that go back and forth, and actually, believe it or not, emerging adults, 18 to 25, they text about 67 times a day. That's a little over 2,000 times a month. That is insane. And people in our age demographic, Terry, 35 to 55, are on the rise as well. They text significantly less, but even myself are sending like 20 texts a day. So it is a great technology, but it's how you use it. And like you said, you certainly don't want to break bad news, fire someone, break up with someone. Hey, by the way, I have a terminal illness. Don't put that on text. But many people are learning, whether it be keyboard courage or whatnot, to kind of communicate important things instead of by text instead of face to face. I don't think that's such a good thing, especially for relationships.
What do you suppose the residual effect is going to be in 2 decades of people just communicating electronically without face-to-face contact, without hearing someone else breathe? You know, when you say something and someone sighs, you can't hear that in a text, but you can see someone's, like you said, body language is there too, but also noises. And silence is also a form of communication. When somebody is halting in their speech, they're grasping for words because they're hurt, let's say. But what's the residual effect on people if their only contact or their primary contact is text?
Well, marriage and family therapists see that all the time, especially work with those teenagers in the context of the family. There's this whole generation now that are communicating, that are building relationships. In fact, you ask some young people their primary way of communicating with their friends or meeting the opposite sex, it is through text. So I think the generational effects are people are not going to have the same skill or comfort sitting down and having these face-to-face interactions. And a lot of people would rather text. And young people will tell you can have multiple conversations going at the same time. You can multitask. And I think while, like you said, there's many great things about this technology, the face-to-face encounter and learning how to sit down with someone, make eye contact. Eye contact is so important, as you said. The tonality in the voice. And you judge. You can see nothing of that. Unless your text is written in all caps, you can judge the person is angry.
or too dumb to turn off the all caps.
Right. Or profanity-laden text. You can probably tell the person's mad. But you're right. You can't judge tone. Many couples come in and they had a fight about a text. And there's nothing wrong with the text, but the person was trying to be funny or make a joke, and the other person wasn't face-to-face, so they couldn't judge that. So, it's... it has its place, but in the wrong context, it can lead to problems in your relationship, problems with your kids. So you got to know when to and know when not to.
Does pervasive, that's probably the right word. Does pervasive foul language in texting or whatever show a lack of intelligence or a lack of effort on someone's part? Because so many people will use that in just ordinary, say, online posts or in text. Like, is that really necessary? Doesn't that sort of diminish a person's IQ? I mean, the image that they're projecting, they look like they're fumbling around for something and can't reach for another word.
Yeah, and again, I think that is generational too, in the sense that many young people, teenagers, emerging adults, they text. If you look at their text, it's kind of a window into how they talk with their peers. And some of that language is street or jargon.
Yeah, but it's always been around. There's nothing new about it.
Exactly. But to see it written
But pervasive use of it frequently, just to tell you about that effing pie that they just ate, is just so stupid. It makes you look like a complete moron.
Well, this idea of your digital footprint, whether it be on texting or social media or tweeting, it's like, even if you take it back, it's out there. And schools look at that stuff. Potential employers look at that stuff. So marriage and family therapists are always going to tell young people to kind of be sensitive. And sometimes when parents, right, the only context they have is checking up on their son or daughter's text or tweets, or they don't understand the context of the street language either, so they get really concerned, or they connect the dots in a wrong way. And if they don't have good communication with their son or daughter, that can lead to a lot of problems. Often parents will come in really alarmed by exactly what you're saying, that the type of language they see, and the young person has no problem with it because that's how they talk.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like I said, we've heard curse words. That's nothing new there. It's just a matter of if that's the way you want to project yourself to the world, in permanent form. What I'm talking about, though, is lack of communication skills, that we're not building.
That's right.
And then when you become a parent and you're trying to reason with a teenager, and all they know, or all the parent, 20 years from now, knows is with their thumbs, they're not going to get a lot done with a teenager who needs to see you, who needs to feel you touch their hand, who needs to hear the intonation of your voice.
Yeah, the social emotional kind of intelligence skills that you used to take for granted when you wanted to hang out with your friends. And I remember I thought it was cool my senior year at St. X, your alma mater. I got a pager, and that seems like ancient technology. But the reality is, you want to hang out with someone, you had to call them up. You had to deal with them face to face.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back here. Why don't you hang on about 10 minutes, because I want to talk a little bit about online relationships, too. More with Dr. Eli Karam in a few here on 84 WHAS.